Hi, Spot Podcast is with Impact Wrestling Tag Team. LAX is in the house. Ortiz and Santana. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thank you, guys.
So it's got to be a special feeling when you guys come back. When you guys come back to the metropolitan area. You guys are from New York City, so just talk about what it's like to come back and perform in front of an audience you guys are familiar with.
Well, coming back to Rahway is always a special thing. This at one point was like the MSG of independent wrestling back in the day, like the heyday, the early 2000s. So whenever we get to perform here and on the East Coast is always special, you know. Like there's some fans that we see in the crowd that have seen our whole build-up, our whole career, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool to come back and see them and have them see us at this point. So
yeah, it's cool to have fans come up to you and be like, hey, I remember when you sucked. And now you're okay. But just wrestling in Rahway in the rec center, like this place right here for us is it's awesome. It's dope. I remember coming not too long ago to watch Homicide versus Juice the Liger.
That was not too long ago? That was like years ago, bro.
It's not that long ago. That was like at least, 4 years ago?
This guy.
Right?
No, that was way more than 4 years ago.
I mean, I'm old. So, yeah. But I remember just coming to watch that match. And it's dope to have, to be able to wrestle and then hopefully inspire somebody like that match inspired me. You know what I mean? If I could inspire that one person and all the way up that's 11 years old right now and comes out to be like an amazing wrestler and just to have that story, just the fact that we're able to pay it forward is awesome for us. So we love coming back home to answer your question.
Yeah, you guys are one of the top tag teams out there, just in all professional wrestling right now. And talk about sometimes tag team wrestling has its peaks and its valleys. And you know, you've had like the Mae Young Classic, you've had where women wrestling have been able to shine. You think it's time for like a tag team kind of tournament like that for you guys to shine? Because you know, tag team division usually is where the stars come out too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I think now, like currently, tag team wrestling is at a real good peak. There's so many talented tag teams out there and so many people doing their thing. And we just recently came back from Germany from doing a World Tag League tournament, so that was pretty cool. And I mean, here and there, there's I feel like everyone is starting to fall into doing the whole tag team tournament thing and all that stuff. So it's
Yeah, like you're saying, I mean, there's plenty of tag team tournaments. You have AIW's Double Dare, right?
Yeah,
Double Dare tournament. We did that like a couple of years ago. There's a lot of random companies that do a lot of tag team tournaments. So tag team wrestling is definitely becoming more popular as wrestling is coming pretty much back into pop culture. Because now it's cool to be a wrestling fan again. You know what I mean? There was a couple of years. It's like Attitude Era. Attitude Era. It was cool to be a wrestling fan, and then it kind of fell off, and then you were looked at differently. But now it's kind of cool to be a wrestling fan again. And then with that, wrestling is just becoming more popular, and tag team wrestling, people like the Revival, American Alpha, those guys that go on and they're doing NXT and they're doing all this crazy tag team wrestling style of matches, and it's dope. You know what I mean? Just to have that platform to do that, and then us having the platform on Impact to kind of show what we can do and just to make tag team wrestling better. Our hopes is to rebuild the tag division in Impact and just start having those insane X division style matches. You know what I mean? Those sleeper matches that you don't even think about anymore, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Amazing Red. All these dudes were having bananas matches, and that's what we want to bring back to Impact pretty much.
Yeah. Now, it's crazy here in the Rahway Center. I mean, we saw Eli Drake running back here, running around, Pat Buck, running around doing a whole bunch of things like he does because he's the creator here in WrestlePro. You mentioned it's wrestling's cool again in the way that there's certainly a boom going on now in professional wrestling with all the content out there, all the other places to kind of go because most would say, oh, the WWE is the place to go. Maybe if there's something there for you. If not, you can obviously make your name elsewhere. So how important right now is it in terms of professional wrestling using social media and things like that to kind of get your names out there and to get that exposure that you guys definitely want to have?
Social media is everything in wrestling today. I feel like
it's like the modern day business card now, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he's terrible at social media.
Me too.
Yeah, I always have to step up and do all that stuff.
He has almost 3,000 more followers than me, and I'm just how?
Because you observe something and just retweet it, and they're like, oh, that's cool, and then they follow you.
That's what I do. I retweet and like stuff, but he actually has original content that he puts up, and that's my problem versus his. People actually want to like his stuff. Like me, it's just I seen him post that, so you know what I mean?
But back to what we were saying, the social media is definitely huge in gaining more eyes and followers and building your brand and stuff. And so many guys have like taken advantage of it. The Colt Cabanas, the Young Bucks, all these guys that are like, they've built empires because of how good they were with marketing themselves on social media and doing all these things. So, yeah, man, that's.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we have a lot of eyes on us because of TV and that. But there's people that are in the independents that make our followers look like nothing, and they've built that on their own, and that's because of social media, and that's how they can build that brand. So there's so many different aspects to kind of building yourself nowadays, rather than back then it was just learning how to work, become a better wrestler, be on the road, and just network within wrestling, and that's kind of how you do it. But now you can kind of get over, and then like bookers will book you if you have enough followers, and you can prove that you can make the money. And social media is a good way to do that. Excuse me.
No, you have this.
No, don't ever interrupt them anytime you want to. Interrupt them anytime you want to.
So honestly,
It's not important. Not at all.
But but the question is here. You mentioned Homicide before, and let's be honest. LAX, when you guys are together, when you have Konnan, Diamante, Homicide, and as well as you guys, I can't think of a faction that's as big right now. I mean, of course, there's Bullet Club, the Elite, and stuff like that, but I can't think of another group of guys that make an impression like you guys do. Talk about the whole chemistry between everyone in LAX.
Speechless.
I think the best way to put it is real. We're all real dudes. We all have a lot of the same mentality, a lot of the same thing. And woman.
Yeah.
We're all just straight up, and that's what makes us work. That, like, as soon as we got down there, the first time, and we all really finally got together and met for the first time, the chemistry, like, it was there. Everything happened so naturally, and everything fell right into place, and we. As it kept going, like, we began to realize, like, a lot of us are so much alike. You know what I mean? So that's also what makes it work and helps with a lot of things.
We had a lot of ways to relate with each other. Either it be music, like Konnan is a huge hip hop head. So is Homicide. So is Diamante. Like, it was music. It's just general interest, and then, like, it was easy to get along. Sometimes when you meet somebody, you kind of have to put in an effort. It didn't feel like we were putting in effort. It happened casually.
See, I wish that would happen with me and him, but obviously there's, like, no chemistry whatsoever. It sucks, and we wish we could this rub off on us somehow, but I don't think so. But
I'm sorry, did you say something, Jeff? I had no idea.
But you talk about also 2017 is going to be behind us.
Yeah.
2018. I mean, the future is bright for you guys, for LAX. Talk about what you guys want to achieve in 2018 to get yourself even more out there.
More countries. We want to do more international dates. That's goal number one going forward.
Yeah, we just want to be like those professional wrestling journeymen that hit everything at every corner of the map. And like we always say, we want to be considered one of the best. That's if you're not doing this to become one of the best, then there's no point.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Like,
screw for me personally, like, screw the money, screw the fame, screw the all that shit is just, we want to be one of the best. When people think of tag team wrestling, like, our name needs to come up.
Yeah,
that's how
man.
we see it.
We just want to leave something behind in wrestling that when you look back 20 years from now, either it be one person. If we have that one person to just sit at their house at night, put on a old tape. Well, tape. By then it'll be like, I don't even know what it'll be like. But like,
be holograms by then. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly. It just, I don't know. Bring it up on the little, like, I don't know, like
Tony
thing.
Stark. You pull it up and it's right in front of you. Here it is.
Like,
look at this match.
That's what I was looking
hologram.
for. Hologram. Thank you. Put it up on hologram or whatever it is, and go back and be like, yo, that was a fire match. You know what I mean? That's it, man. I just want to be able to pop people from 20 years from now, and I'll be happy.
And like you said, 2018, we're just going to continue doing what we've been doing. And thankfully, every year has been better and better. Yeah. And we're just looking to make 2018 an even better year than 2017 was. And it's going to be hard to top because 2017 for us was amazing. We've got to experience a lot of things and work with so many different people and learn from so many different people. So hopefully 2018 brings us that and more.
It's just learning more, and like you said, the quest to be the best, man. That's all we really want to do. Like, we know we've yet to unlock our full potential. Like, you're always learning. Even if we're 30 years in, we're always going to learn something new. And we just want to keep recreating our style, do something different, and keep it going, but still stay true to ourselves.
Something I've admired so much about this business, especially I love tag team wrestling. I grew up watching it, the Hart Foundation, the Rockers. I mean, that's just to name a few out there. But something I've always admired is that not only the work you guys put into it, but like you said, it's such a huge learning curve. You've seen people in the business for 12, 15 years, and they're still learning and things of that nature. What do you guys feel? You said like you still want to learn. What do you guys feel you're at right now that you want to be, say, in the near future in 2018? What are the things you feel you guys still need to work on or to get to that next level that you guys want to get to?
I would say not relying more on the moves and being able to generate emotions based on aneurysm and looks. And also just talking on the mic better, like having that presence and stuff like that. That's something major that we need to work on. Like, luckily, we have Konnan as the mouthpiece for LAX.
You can't learn from Konnan then.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's number one thing, just like getting on the mic and challenging ourselves more in that aspect. And rely less on the moves because unfortunately we all age and our bodies we feel like crap now. Imagine how we feel 15 years from now.
And I mean, we take care of ourselves and stuff, but it's like
still,
it's a grind, and your body is your
temple.
Yeah,
It's like they say when you get older, right? You train smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. And to be able to rely on aneurysms, looks, instead of relying on a
and
cool
still
high
do
spot move.
and still do some cool shit.
You want to get there, you still got it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But
And then you go,
It's a
I
long
never
ways away
lost
from
it.
that, though.
Yeah, long ways away. Although physically you might feel that way.
oh yeah.
My knees are dust.
So, like we were talking about, we closed 2017 in a few weeks, and let's be honest, Impact has kind of been a revolving door this year. Now, though, it seems like the future kind of is brighter because word came out that Scott D'Amore and Don Callis are going to be involved as executive vice presidents, and it's got to be optimistic that 2018 Impact right now is in the right direction going forward.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the company is going in a good direction, and like everyone is learning. And everyone is learning from each other and learning from the mistakes that were made and all this stuff. But honestly, we have a lot of confidence in the company and the same way they have confidence in us. And I think 2018 is definitely going to be huge for Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're trying new things, and I mean, like you said, like we
and
said
it's a
earlier,
slow process.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
we're still learning.
Yeah.
Just like them as a company, they're still learning. You know what I mean? They made a lot of mistakes in the past, but like it is what it is, and we keep moving forward. Like somehow they still have national television. There's still a bunch of countries that still watch it. So like, you know what I mean? We'll take that with the good and the bad with the bad.
This is my homework that I've done because they were on Jericho's podcast and they said 126 countries. So obviously there is a following for Impact Wrestling outside the U.S.
100% there is, yeah. 100%. When you have fans on Twitter hitting you up from Indonesia, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, right?
It's pretty
pretty
dope.
cool.
Well, one final one for me, guys, is that when I spoke before about it being such a long journey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're still always learning. Is there ever a certain goal of yours that you guys are hitting? Because, for example, when people say I've made it, it's like they settle for that and then settle on complacency and don't go any further. Is there a sense for you guys wanting to accomplish a certain type of type of match, reach a certain level of popularity that you say, listen, I've made it, and kind of have a chance to maybe sit back and maybe enjoy the ride a little bit, the journey more than the destination?
I always said I made it in professional wrestling when I could buy a house with professional wrestling. That's when I truly made it, like 100%. If my family could be taken care of, and I could buy a house and my family could live comfortably, and that's truly making it to me. Like I said before, fame and money, and I didn't get into this shit for any of those things. You know what I mean? I did it because I love it, and of course you want to make some cheddar on the way, but at the same time, just you do it because you love it. And for me, making it is being able to buy a house, and of course travel the world and be known as one of those guys, as that team that fucking, like, we were everywhere. Like, we were like, oh, you want to go to Bangkok? Oh, yeah, these guys have wrestled there or whatever, Anyway.
I'll I'll take I'm not condoning drug use at all with this, but I'll take a quote, and it might be a misrepresented quote from what's his face, from Russell Simmons. When we can go somewhere, land on the air, like land,
I know where he's going with
and someone picks us up and be like, hey, what do you want? I want a Coke and a stripper and a woman. And if we can get that, then we've made it.
That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm shooting for, man. Exactly. Finally, for me, guys.
Don't do drugs.
And don't succumb to peer pressure either.
Do strippers if you can, and then power to you. Now, finally, for me, it's very important for me and the Trendsetter here to represent Latino culture and our heritage. As you guys have that opportunity and that platform, as well as Konnan, who has very prideful in his Mexican roots, how important is it for you guys to represent Puerto Rico and your Hispanic heritage?
I mean,
talk about Captain Puerto Rico over here.
I'm a very prideful Puerto Rican. Very prideful.
Very stereotypical Puerto Rican, yes.
Well, yeah, whatever. I take pride in that shit. But it's definitely something special. You know what I mean? Our people are everything. You know, like we all got each other's back, and like we got to travel to PR this year and wrestle over there for the first time, and that was another dream come true for us. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty. It's definitely something that is very important to us, man.
Every day. We were just talking about how to make him more Puerto Rican yesterday.
Is that possible?
The list is
maybe.
like probably like this.
Yeah, probably. I want to be known as the big pun of pro wrestling. I want to be that dude that makes Puerto Rican being cool. You know what I mean? Back then, in the late 90s, when Puerto Rican came out, and when Big Pun came out, and he came,
AKA Big Puerto Rico.
Yeah, AKA the original Captain Puerto Rico. When he came out, and everybody wanted to be Puerto Rican, at least in New York City, you know what I mean? And no, but like, yeah, man.
Guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us on the show, man. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Good luck here tonight. And WrestlePro, you guys have a special place in your heart for WrestlePro?
Yeah, I mean, we've done 2 shows now with them?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we work with a lot of
the guys over the years and stuff. We've built relationships with a lot of these guys, so it's definitely a cool place.
And they treat us good, so yeah, 100%. It more than likely will be a company that we continue to work for going on to 2018. It's definitely a spot that you'll probably see us more at.
Guys, continued success. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show, man. Appreciate it, guys. Happy New
Thank
Year,
you guys.
too, to you
Happy
guys.
New Year's. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't do drugs.
Yes.
Don't do it.
And stay away from strippers.
Yes.
You want to be able to ask for it, but just don't do it.
That's right. You need to ask permission first. Don't go like these celebrities in 2017 and don't do that. Don't do that.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, guys.